I'd have to start with James Harden. I think the record is they've been doing very well. Him and Durant carrying the load without Kyrie. Kyrie just got back. He's averaging 22.4 points. Oh, there you go. It's on the screen. And then DeMar DeRozan would be my shooting guard. If you think he shouldn't be on the starting five, then you probably didn't watch the last 2 weeks of him hitting buzzer beater after buzzer beater. And at the same time, he has been averaging 26, 5, and 5. And then my small forward would be Kevin Durant. I don't think I need to explain that at all. He leads the league in scoring. So, and then at the 4, Giannis, also don't need to explain that one. Giannis might be top 2, top 3 player in the league, if not the best player in the league. Sorry, I'm a LeBron fan, so it's still LeBron for me. But yeah, Giannis. And then Embiid at center. I think the way Embiid has been playing this past month has really helped his case to start at center. Hopefully he stays healthy and he's able to finish out the season. So.
All right. So, Troy, your thoughts on it?
I mean, that's a good list right there. It's kind of hard for me to argue with that. I actually had all the same players except for I didn't have Harden in there. I was thinking maybe a little Zach LaVine. We can go all Bulls backcourt, or even Trae Young. Just the way he's led that team. Harden started off a little slow for me, but I mean, how can you argue with Giannis? How can you argue with Kevin Durant? How can you argue with Joel Embiid? And also DeMar DeRozan, people didn't really necessarily expect him to play at the level he's playing at this year. There was even arguments whether he should have got that contract, but I mean, how he's played this year, like there's no doubt he should be a starter.
All right, Jet, I'm going to make you an analyst here first, okay? Kasi, syempre, you're also an NBA All-Star writer. I completely forget that sometimes. Kasi,
you always forget it. You gotta stop.
I always do. But you look at this list: Harden, DeRozan, Durant, Antetokounmpo, Embiid. Any violent reactions here? Any guys that you think that he's looking past?
No, actually, when I saw the list initially, I was perfectly fine with it. I mean, Troy mentioned, I think one guy that I have to. Maybe it's just a little bit of a bias, but I have to put in there is Trae Young. I think the way he's been playing, the way he's been leading his team, and the way the Hawks have been playing, he's always in that sneaky situation. You know what I mean? Like last year when we got to watch him and the way he elevated his team and the way they competed in the playoffs. I think the bigger market teams always have that bias. I mean, but I think coming into this, of course, those games you can't really argue. But I wanted to ask Aaron, when you make picks like this, do you base it off of stats? I mean, for the All-Star, do you base it off of fame, or do you base it off of just how good a player is in your eyes?
For me, actually, that's why I did not include Trae Young, because the Hawks haven't been playing very well. I mean, their standings says it all. And it was a toss-up between him and James Harden, and Brooklyn is number 2 in the East. So when I compared their stats, Trae Young is averaging 28 points a game, but, when it comes to assists and rebounds, they're not that far apart. So I went with somebody who's, right now has a better record. I think when I look at these guys, when I try to figure out who to pick, I don't only go by stats, because you could have, the best stats in the league, but your team might not be winning. So I kind of do a mix of, their team's record as well as their stats and how effective they are on the court.
You can't tell me you go for team record when you have 2 nets there and only 1 bull. Come on, Aaron. Really? I mean,
are you Kevin Durant over Zach LaVine over Kevin Durant? Is that what you're telling me?
No. I mean, like, you're not gonna replace Zach LaVine and Kevin Durant. You're gonna replace him with James Harden, right? I mean,
the stats though, that's 9.7 assists a game.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean, I see that, but if you're gonna reward how teams play, aren't you gonna reward the Bulls? I mean,
1 and 2.
If you had to pick, like, which more? Right now, you're telling me that this individual stats are more important than the team record based on you picking Harden over a guy like LaVine.
They're 1 and 2 though.
They're 1 and 2, yeah, but they're 3 games ahead.
It's not
the
like
Bulls are 3 games ahead.
Like
that's a big difference.
Oh my God.
Man,
okay, well, I mean,
trash, Aaron.
You can make a case for it, but I'm gonna stick with my 5.
All right. No, that's fair. All right, Jet, you lead in the next one. You lead the next one because I'm very ready.
Something else, we could fight about, which is the West All-Star starters.
Oh, this should be fun.
Boy, it's gonna pick. I want to see this. So,
well, I'm glad we talked about team success factoring in as we move into my picks. Let's all just keep in mind, I wasn't the one that said that. That was someone else who said that. So at number 1, and the number 1 team in the West, we have Stephen Curry at point guard.
Yeah.
Number 2, And also, I had to make mine a little controversial because Aaron's list was so good that there wasn't going to be that much argument. So I have to throw a couple wild cards in there. So at the 2 spot, I have Ja Morant. That one's a little controversial, but this is an all-star game. If anyone saw his block the other night, that was like NBA Street. He literally went and grabbed the ball off the top of the backboard. I've never seen anything like that. So, the Grizzlies also playing very well. Have to give him some love. At the 3 spot, we have LeBron James. And then at the 4 spot, was getting a lot of grief about this pregame, but I got Draymond Green at the 4. Some of you guys might be thinking, Draymond Green, this guy's almost averaging a triple-double. He's like 8, 8, and 8. Leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. And once again, team success. He's making the Warriors go. He's almost the point guard on their team. He's the quarterback. He's the one who makes everything go. And obviously I'm biased because I'm a big Warriors fan. And then at center, Nikola Jokic. I mean, he's just continuing to play well, quietly, just being effective. I think most people would have him in their starting lineup.
No, I'm not mad at that.
Wow.
Aaron, your take on it first.
Are we really going to leave Luka Doncic out this list? That's unbelievable.
That's actually
24, 8, and 9?
in my mind, yeah. So why would you say Luka's supposed to be here?
I mean, they're not playing bad. They're playing okay. And they've had a lot of injuries, had a lot of COVID cases. Well, everybody has had a lot of COVID cases throughout the league, but they've been hit pretty hard with COVID. Doncic has been out a couple of games, but at the same time, he's really been carrying that whole franchise on his back. I think Kristaps is out again now. So, I think he has to be in there. I love the Draymond Green pick because you're right. He is a big part of the Warriors, but I think he could come off the bench. He could still be an all-star, but come off the bench. I think Luka should be starting.
No, you're picking Luka though. You're taking on Ja Morant, or you're taking on Ja Morant.
Oh, then I'll take Ja out. I would put. I think Luka, he's established himself as that dude, right? And I think Ja is there. But he's not quite at Luka's level yet, in my opinion.
All right, Jet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Troy. We have that starting 5, and you have to make it controversial because of Ja Morant, maybe, or a few names. But who was the one guy that you had a tough time like juggling or switching in and out of that starting 5 in your list?
I swear, if anyone leaves this call right now to pick up a delivery,
I've seen that episode.
It's for me.
It might.
It's actually for me. It's actually for me. So you can. We right? No, it's good. It's good. We'll leave that.
Let's go ahead. Answer that first.
No. We're good. But the thing. Oh, answering Jet's question. Apologize. It's good. It's actually it's just saying outside. We don't need anyone to actually answer it. But the people to keep out that was tough for me. I mean, Luka is definitely one of those guys. Paul George is actually having a very nice season. Not too many people are talking about him. Rudy Gobert as well. I would say those were the main 3 that kind of came to mind for me. Luka's a good point. It's kind of tough. I feel like he's been so good, our expectations were actually like raised for him. At one point, I know he was the betting favorite to win the MVP.
Yes.
So now, he's not so much in that race really to win the MVP. It's almost like we're like, forget Luka, which to Aaron's point just shows how good he actually is.
No, I agree. I'm with you there. I have a feeling that it's underwhelming season for Luka. Not only that, they actually are in 5th right now. They don't need a home spot for playoffs at the moment. And at the same time, you're right. I think, honestly, I would have Gobert there over Green, but then that's only if you put Jokic as a 4, which, honestly, he can play anything. So, that's going to be difficult.